Hello, everyone. Again, this is Zuhair. I'm one of the global coordinators for the Children and Youth Major Group with my colleague Gyubin Wong, who is from the UK and who is another global coordinator for the Children and Youth Major Group. Today, we are going to discuss about our preparation for the Global Youth Environment Assembly. And in the first 25 minutes, we will provide you updates on the preparation of the Children and Youth Major Group for the Global Youth Environment Assembly 2024. And also in the last 15 minutes, we will expect questions from your side if you have any. So I'm quickly going to start presenting our Global Youth Environment Assembly webpage to give you more context on our preparation and what Global Youth Environment Assembly actually is. I hope the website is visible. And this is the landing web page for the Global Youth Environment Assembly, which is cymgenv.net/GYEA. You can always access information and documents from this web page. So first of all, the Global Youth Environment Assembly is actually a crucial platform for all the young people and the children focused on environmental policy making and action. And this is going to be the second version of the Global Youth Environment Assembly. We started our first session of the Global Youth Environment Assembly in 2022, right before the resumed fifth session of the United Nations Environment Assembly. And following the practice, we're organizing the Global Youth Environment Assembly this year as well, preceding open-ended Committee of Permanent Representatives and sixth session of the United Nations Environment Assembly. So what are the outcomes and the major goals of the Global Youth Environment Assembly? Global Youth Environment Assembly, serve as a big platform for networking among the young people working on different environmental issues. This is going to come out with a declaration, which is called the Global Youth Declaration on the Environment, which is supposed to be presented in the UNIA 6. As we will have 5 minutes in the opening plenary of the UNIA 6 to present the expectations and demands from the Youth Declaration. So far in the web page, you'll find that the provisional agenda is put on where you will find the information of different sessions. And we will also add tabs in that Google Sheet to give you more information on the sessions and the speakers of the sessions in the next 2 days. Also, our information package has already been forwarded to the registered members for the Global Youth Environment, delegates for the Global Youth Environment Assembly. I think this is yet to be put on the website and it will be updated. Besides, in the Global Youth Environment Assembly, an overall engagement report will be presented during the opening session, and the report will also be made available on this website under the resources section. Besides, we'll also present the roadmap for the youth engagement in environmental governance processes for 2024 and 2025 in the Global Youth Environment Assembly. Also, we will come out with some draft proposals for the consideration of our constituents on the organizational matters for adoption at the Global Youth Environment Assembly. So regarding the participation, as you know, that we have circulated in our mailing list and through our social media platforms. Also, UNEP helped us to reach to a broader audience through their social media and through their different channels regarding the participation and sending our call for the participation. So far, we have actually four major category of participation. One is for the EU-based youths, that is funded participation, and then funded global youth participation, funded Kenya-based youth participation, and self-funded participation for global and Kenyan youths. So we had different deadlines for the for expressing the interest on these things, on these categories, and then a selection committee has been formed to have a very clear and transparent selection process, and we have finalized the selections, and we have already communicated the result to the selected candidates only as per the instruction provided earlier in the registration forms and also in the email, that we will only communicate the result of the selection to the selected youths. So the selected youths for all the participation category has already been informed. And regarding the highlights, obviously, I want to focus on the youth declaration. As you know, that we had 3 rounds of consultations for the Global Youth Declaration. Our policy coordination group actually organized this consultation in last 2 months, and they have collected a lot of inputs, on the draft youth declaration. I think this is now the revised draft, and in the Global Youth Environment Assembly on the very first day, we are going to have the final draft, and we will expect that to be adopted by all of our constituents. Besides, we also organize informal youth consultations, at least 2 rounds for each of the draft resolutions. You also had the opportunity to participate in those consultations, to put your expectations and demands on the text of different resolutions. Our contact points for different draft resolutions captured those, and they will be preparing the final position on different draft resolutions and the draft decisions on the second day of the Global Youth Environment Assembly. Besides, there's a capacity building session workshop for the major groups and stakeholders. I mean, all the major groups and stakeholders who will be participating in UNIA 6, or that was organized by UNEP. And you also had the opportunity to participate because this was also shared in our mailing list. And this is actually, as you can see also in the screen, that this was also shared and put on the website. Regarding the venue and logistics, as you know, that Global Youth Environment Assembly will be a hybrid meeting. And for the in-person segment, this is going to take place at the United Nations office in Nairobi, which is the United Nations Environment Program headquarters. And there'll be 2 main rooms, conference room 1, which is the bigger one, and conference room 3 for different sessions of the Global Youth Environment Assembly. Besides, we'll also have the hybrid. As I mentioned, that this will be mainly a hybrid meeting, so we'll have online segments in parallel to the. We'll also have the opportunity to online participation, and we will soon share the link to register for different sessions for online participation in next 2 days. Now I want you to walk through the agenda of the Global Youth Environment Assembly, and then I will also give you an update on the funded participation selection and resource mobilization for the Global Youth Environment Assembly. So as you can see on the screen, we are going to have at least 17 sessions on different thematic areas, including the opening, plenary, high-level dialogue, and some other technical sessions. So in the opening plenary, this will be opened by the Deputy Executive Director of United Nations Environment Program, as well as few other high-level speakers. And in this session, we will actually mainly focus on the organizational matters and giving you more updates on our engagement and the roadmap. Also, we will have a session on children's right to safe, clean, and sustainable environment, and a parallel session after the opening plenary, the youth engagement in science policy interfaces, where we are expecting all the science policy panels managed by UNEP to engage in this session. We will have a session on which is titled Voices for Change, Driving Advocacy with Eco Spiritualities. This is in collaboration with the Faith for Earth initiative of UNEP, and this will focus on faith-based engagement of young people. Besides, we'll also have a session on resource efficiency and circularity. And as you can see on the screen, there are a lot of other technical sessions where you will get the opportunity to learn from, to hear from the experts, and also put your thoughts in the discussion table. There'll be a session which is titled Global Foresight Workshop for Youth. This will be organized by the Office of the Chief Scientist, and the participation for this workshop is moderated because only 30 people can participate in this workshop, and we have already informed the selected participants for underfunding support, and then some other selected Kenyan participants to attend this foresight workshop. They will only be attend this foresight workshop, and there'll be no online segment because that's how the modality is prepared by the Office of the Chief Scientist for this workshop. Other than that, obviously, people can attend most of other sessions. And one more information is that the foresight workshop and other consultations will not be live streamed because the consultations will actually serve as an open space for all the young people to put forward their thoughts. That could be political discussion, right? So that's why we are not going to record or live stream the consultation workshops. Like for instance, on the first day we have the consultation on youth declaration. Second day we have a consultation workshop on the revised draft of the plastic city, and then we also have consultation on the draft resolutions. This is about the agenda, and regarding the financial mobilization, we had the opportunity to receive funding support from the government of Sweden, the government of France, Global Environment Facility, and then Office of the Chief Scientist, as well as also from the Conrad, a German political association. So the total mobilization is a bit less than the $150,000, which is now being spent for the logistics of the Global Youth Environment Assembly, funded participation of global and Kenyan youths, and as well as other organizational matters. For instance, we are able to support total number of 32, including the youths selected under the U Fund for the funded participation at Global YEA, and this has already been informed to the selected participants. An email will be sent to the mailing list in next 2 days to inform all the constituents about the outcome of the selection process. With the fund we have for the Global Youth Environment Assembly, we are in a position, and we have already informed those 80 Kenyan youths for their funded participation for 2 days of the Global Youth Environment Assembly. That means 17 and 18. And another 20 Kenya-based youths have been selected for their participation throughout the UNIA package. I mean, which starts from the 17th of February and then ends up on the 1st of March, at the end of UNIA. So that means the total people we are actually supporting 100 Kenya-based youths, and then another 32 global youths, 132 people, both Kenyans and global youths, to participate. Regarding the selection process, again, we will share the outcome in next 2 days of the selection process. If you are not selected for any funded participation under any category, please don't be disheartened, because this is a very difficult task for the selection committee members to make a very equitable selection, because we need to take into consideration the gender, diversity in expertise, as well as regional balance. And for these, we obviously cannot select multiple people, I mean, except for the Kenya, from one single country. That's why we had to make very tough decisions for the selection, and I hope you all understand. And this is obviously not the last one. We will have a lot of UNIA proceedings, and I hope if you are very active in the process, you will get the opportunity to participate in future meetings of your interest or which is connected to your expertise and motivation. So that's the update regarding the participation. We also accredited a total number of, I guess, not below 100, provided 100 young people accreditation support to participate in the union YCPR with the support that we received from our accredited organizations. And we have forwarded those late nomination letters to the selected young people for the participation. Regarding the selection for the funding and the accreditation support, the selection committee has took into consideration the previous engagement um, with CYMG and other MEA processes, as well as relevant, possession of relevant expertise and the quality of the application. So that's the thing, that's the update on the selection process, as well as other logistical matters for the Global Youth and Women Assembly. Cuban, do you have anything to add? Whatever I have added so far, highlighted so far.
No, I think that's a very good FFE. Thanks.
Thank you. I think now we can start taking questions. And if you want to, let me first go through the chat section, where perhaps we have a lot of comments and questions. And oh, these are mainly, I guess, the introduction. And okay, I can, if you are interested to ask question verbally, please feel free to raise your hand. Other than, you can also use the chat section to put on your question. I can see one hand raised for Eva Moore. Please feel free to go ahead.
Yes, hello, Zuhaid. Hello, Ahmed.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, nice, thank you. So, now, what happens if you missed out on the sponsored categories? Can you like apply for self-sponsored category? That's question number one. Then secondly, I don't know whether you are sending response to all that applied, because maybe one might not be knowing whether they got the opportunity or not. So how do you get to know? Thank you.
Hello. Hello. How are you? I'm good.
You're good.
Sorry, if you're not speaking, please feel free to keep yourself muted. Okay, first of all, the registration for participation for all the categories, including the self-funded ones. Self-funded one is closed now. So unfortunately, we are not in a position to accept any request for further participation. Earlier, the participation limit was 150 total for in-person, but due to large number of applications already we received, this is now reached to almost like 250, near to 250, excluding the UN officials, UNEP officials, and then the member state delegates. And also there's a question like regarding informing people about the status of the application. We have received more than 2,000 applications under different categories, and it's very possible to reach out to each and individual, updating about their status of their application. Therefore, we also mentioned in the form that we won't be able to inform everybody about the status of the application. Rather, we just inform the selected participants only, because we don't have that many human resource, neither we have other resources to work on that, in considering the huge amount of administrative work and other policy related work we have on our shoulder now before Global YEA and UNIA. I hope that responds to your question, but we will, as I mentioned earlier, we will send in 2 days an update on the selection outcomes and the names of the selected candidates to the broader constituency in the mailing list. Thank you. I can see one hand raised from Eunice. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. My name is Eunice from Kenya. I had applied for the event, but now I got the response to participate online. But then again, I got another nomination letter from my organization. So for the organizations that are nominating somebody to attend in person, what is going to happen? Thank
Okay,
you.
Eunice. Yeah, I understand that you also understand that there are several meetings associated. Like that's not just UNIA. You have UNIA, OACPR, Global Youth Environment Assembly, and this is a whole package. For the Global Youth Environment Assembly, the registration under all categories are closed now. I mean, that has been closed. And you mentioned that you registered earlier, but you didn't get a confirmation from our side for the participation at the Global Youth Environment Assembly. Is that correct?
Yes, I got for the online participation, but then again, after that, I was nominated by my
Sorry, Eunice,
organization to attend.
we didn't send any confirmation for the online participation yet. I'm not sure which correspondent you were actually referring to, but we didn't send any information on the online participation yet. Neither we created the
Oh,
online links yet. But if you have
okay.
already received an accreditation for UNIA, for the UNIA, right, the main event, then you can write to me and Gubin because perhaps we can offer some spaces for the UNIA accredited observers to the Global Youth Environment Assembly. If you are accredited to
Oh,
participate in the UNIA, yeah, that might be possible.
oh,
Other than that, we won't be able to, um, process any further request because there are several categories for the youth environment assembly. I mean participation. One category is for the accredited organizations. So if you are already under any accredited organization nominated by them to participate UNIA, you can write to me and Gubin providing details of your accreditation. Then we can perhaps request UNEP to allow you for the global youth environment assembly. But this is all again very limited. So you have to do it very soon, like in next 1-2 days.
all right, all right. Kindly drop your email address on my inbox. Thank you.
That's already available in the webpage, so feel free to go there. Feel free to write both me and Gubin together. So visit the Global Youth Environment Assembly webpage. Let me share that.
Kindly share.
Yes, I'm sharing. So you'll find our information, contact information there. Thank you,
Okay,
Eunice.
you're
Let's
welcome.
Parto.
Yeah, hello. So basically, I was asking like when would the registrations for GYEAs like virtual registrations when would they be open?
Yes, I have already mentioned that this is going to be opened in next 2 days. This will be shared with the broader constituency to the mailing list.
Okay. And will there be a selection or would everyone be eligible for the virtual participation?
Now, for the virtual participation, there will be no selection. It is open for everybody, even the people, who are 35 plus.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Perto. Is there any further question from our constituents?
Sorry, Zuhair, I cannot find the online registration link in the website that you sent.
No, I mean the online registration is not opened yet. I just mentioned, the response to the Perto that the online registration will open in next 2 days. No, I mean it is not opened yet. We will create the links and then we'll share
Okay, thank you.
with all of you through the mailing list. And also we will put that on our Instagram. Soundarya?
Hi, I'm sorry, I just had a question about something you just said. Did you say that the online or virtual participation would only be open for those above 35 years of age? Did I hear correctly?
No, this is open for everybody, even the people, who are 35 plus.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Osman? Mohammed Osman, Kamara, do you have a question? I can see your hand raised. Okay, any other colleagues who have, any question regarding ER or other things?
Yes, I have a question. I can't find the icon to raise my hand. Mine is a general question in relation to the draft resolutions. Who comes up with them? Is it the Secretariat of the CYMG or UNEP? Who comes up with the draft resolution documents that we've been going through?
Sorry, can you please come again? I think I couldn't catch that.
I'm saying who like edits the draft resolution documents that we've been going through during the virtual roundtable, the virtual.
Consultations, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, draft resolutions are proposed by the member states only because this is an intergovernmental process and member states driven process. So only member states can propose draft resolution, and this is not edited neither by us or the Secretariat directly. What we can do, we had all the consultation to collect your inputs on the text of the draft resolution, which the members, which the people who will be joining in person during the OECPR week will be presenting in the form of verbal and written statements to influence the position of the member states. But the draft resolution will be further updated and finalized on the reviews received by the member states only. So member states can only demand for the change in the language and instruct the secretariat to take into consideration their views. I hope that answers the question, yeah.
So our process is to deliberate amongst ourselves as youth and then come up with what we as the youth decide, then pass it on to the bigger body who now involve the members and then come up with the resolutions that they decide together collectively.
Yes, what our responsibility or work here is that we are collecting inputs from the young people, and then we are forwarding that to the member states through different ways. One is the virtual, verbal, and the written statements, and also through bilaterals to influence their position. But ultimate decision is made by the member states.
Hello, I have questions to say.
Please, Abdul Wahab, please go ahead.
Yes, I have just joined this meeting. I want to ask, let me say, if I'm outside the meeting, just sorry for that. I didn't meet the funded application. I met the non-funded applications. I have already applied for Kenya for this assembly. So I don't know whether the applications they have already selected, selected members has already been notified.
Yes,
so I
Abdul.
want to know.
Yeah, perhaps you have missed the deadline for the funded participation. People have already been, informed about the selection for all the categories of participation. But we we informed about the participation under different categories through a mailing list and our social media. But even the selected people are already been informed. Have already been informed, yeah.
Okay. The other thing I want to ask also, I don't know why we have not been selected, or let me say in Sierra Leone, because I'm in Sierra Leone presently. I don't know what is the case, make that we are not be selected if they funded your application?
Okay, as I already mentioned earlier in the call, the selection depends on many criteria, not just on a single criteria, and that has already been mentioned in the form. I hope that you all have gone through that carefully when you applied for it, because even for the selection, I mean, even for the non-funded or the self-funded participation, there's always a limit for the participation, right? In a big hall and auditorium. So, and also there's a limit in the accreditation. We cannot accredit 1,000 people. We could accredit like 100 people in total for union OECPR. So a selection committee has been formed and they made the decision. They made the selection, and that was a very transparent, and we had a selection guidelines. We followed that. The rating was done, and we took into consideration the previous engagement, then impact of the work, quality of the application, regional gender balance, a lot of other factors that has been mentioned. That was already mentioned in the form.
Well, thank you very much. My question was already finished.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any other question?
Yes, allow me to clarify something.
Please. Who is that? Sorry.
Me, Eunice.
Okay, Eunice, please go ahead.
Yeah, allow me to clarify something about this event for starting from 17th to I think 18th. Are you also among the organizers who are for the major group?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you come again?
Is this I believe there are two organizers who are organizing these different events that will be taking place. So there's also another registration that is happening, but now one needs to have the nomination letter from the organization or even from the government and all that. So are you in the same committee or the selection committee that is selecting people or accrediting for the major group?
I think you were referring to the Global Major Group and Stakeholders Forum, right? GMGSF.
Yes.
That's on the 24th and 25th of February, right? No, I mean, that's a very different selection committee. UNEP is the selection committee for the participation. And for the participation in that forum, you need an accreditation or nomination letter from any of the UNEP accredited organizations.
All right, thank you.
That's not perhaps under our jurisdiction, yeah.
All right, all right.
Thank you. Can you read? I can see one hand raised from your side here.
Yes, I have a question regarding the logistics and transportation. In the youth information package shared, there's nothing really shared about maybe how to get a decal for your own personal vehicle if you were to drive to the premises. Are we allowed to drive there and park our vehicles? And how can we get this like a sticker, I guess?
This is very difficult for us to respond because we are the organizer, but we are not the host. I'm not sure whether there's any such information even on the UNIA information note. Have you had the opportunity to go through the UNIA information note? You can find that on the UNIA website. You can go through, but unfortunately we don't have any information on the parking of personal vehicles. And during the Global Youth and Women Assembly, I'm not sure. That's the weekends, right? So you have two options. One, you go through the information note of UNIA and try to find whether any such information are there. If not, then you can try to communicate with the UNEP Secretariat to ask, or the UNON team on this. Unfortunately, we cannot provide any information on this because we are not the UNON or the UNEP team or the secretariat, so they can provide you more information on this. I appreciate you writing directly to them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kenry. Any other further question or comment? We have just 2 minutes to finish this meeting.
Sorry, my apologies. I joined 10 minutes late, so you might have responded to what I want to ask. About the registration for a Global Youth Environment Assembly, you circulated a link to register. I tried to register, but it was always giving me a bad request. And I joined when you were saying that the registration is closed. Would you just clarify as will we be able to attend the youth environment assembly? Thank you.
I think I didn't get you, but perhaps you were, referring to the Indico portal?
Yes, yes.
Have you already registered for UNIA 6? Because I think you were accredited.
Yes, I've registered for UNIA 6 and the other related events, but not for the Global Youth Environment Assembly.